How's everyone doing? Are y'all fired up in here? Yeah! The bookstore, quiet, but we're Democrats. We can't be quiet. We can't be quiet. How many of you all watched that amazing speech on I think that everyone in here needs to make sure that we can see that same speech and even better next year, the year after, the year after. I know you all, I was so inspired and so just looking at the guys, I don't want to say his name in here, the guys, the tan guy, how he cringed up every time he spoke and had these great applause lines. And it's like, you know what, listen to what the president is saying. You know, how he just brought it back home. You know, when those Navy SEALs went in there to do their mission, they didn't say, are you a Republican? Are you a Tea Party? Are you different? They went in there with one mission, and they did it together. And it's like this country needs to have that coming together, working together to improve our economy, improve everything about this country, and make sure that this country is the greatest country in the world. But we have these people that are just obstructionists, and we know what they're about. But we know that we have 4 more years of President Obama. And so we know everyone in this room, and I'm just so excited. Thank you, President Post, for allowing me to be here. Again, this is an amazing turnout for the first meeting of the year for the Coral Gables Democratic Club. Right. I told the President, we need to have a bigger room. This is amazing. So my name is Cedric McMahon. I'm proud and honored to serve as Executive Director of the Miami-Dade Democratic Party. On behalf of Richard Lydecker, our chairperson, our vice chair, Mayor Daisy Black, my governor, Alex C. I don't mention other persons in the hall. I work in Tallahassee, and I'm glad I'm out there. I'm glad I'm out there this year. President Goldstein, we thank you all so much for being here to support such a great organization. I do want to also announce, introduce our campaign chair for the Democratic Party, Mr. Juan Cuba, who's here. And so, as I'm talking, I want to make sure that he passes out some information that is very, very important from the Democratic Party for you all to have. I'm passing out right now is some information about the President's accomplishments, the Democrats' accomplishments for the past 3 years. So you all have your talking points, because you know that the other side likes to distort, lie. You all seen the debates, lie, especially lie. There's a debate tonight which is part of the same nonsense, so we don't have to even worry about that. But we want to make sure that the Democratic Party and the Democratic members are armed with information and the facts about what has happened since President Obama took office and what has happened since then. You know, the millions of jobs that have been added by the private sector. You know, repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. You know, taking out Bin Laden, bringing our troops home. So many great things have happened.
What about health care?
And Affordable Care Act, which, when he returns to another term, it's going to be even better than the one that we passed in a couple of years ago. So we have so much to look forward to make sure that this family stays in the White House for another 4 years. I do want to point out that this year, our message is very simple. We're keeping it very simple because we can't make a complicated message. Our message, the Democratic Party here in Miami-Dade County, every election matters. Can you repeat after me? Every election matters. We understand, you all are here, you understand that you all go out to vote. Who voted so far in the upcoming elections? Who voted so far? All right, I voted. Who is going to be voting either tomorrow or Saturday for early voting? Okay.
No, but this is like there's very little notice or announcement, just tiny little print about
these elections. It's exactly why I asked that question. Juan is going to pass out. Juan is passing out the sample ballot. Bear with me 1 second. The upcoming election. Every election matters. No matter what election is happening, whether it's a special election for a mayoral candidate, whether it's a charter amendment, or whether it's a city election, we have every election we must go out to vote, because when Democrats vote, Democrats win. So I'm going to see. Can you do my when Democrats vote, Democrats win. And so this upcoming election on January 31st, as you all know, that election, I would call the Voter Suppression Act, that was passed in 2011 by the Republicans, who have a beautiful majority. They passed a draconian law that has reduced our early voting from 15 days to 8 days. So since last Saturday until this Saturday, we have only 8 days for early voting in a very important presidential year. So from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., early voting is being held at 20 locations throughout Miami-Dade County. I'm also going to pass out early voting locations right now that Juan has. But on the ballot, think about those crazy people, because everybody else is on the ballot for those other people. But all voters, Democrat, Republican, NPA, Independent, Green, Tea Party, must vote on 2 important county charter amendments. These amendments are very important, and they put it on a ballot which would have a very low turnout for their own personal reasons. The first amendment relates to getting petitions signed and petitions turned in, and also voting on an amendment on the ballot. So basically what's going to happen is the first amendment, it will extend the amount of days you can collect petitions, but it also extends the amount of time they can put that actual question or the candidate on the ballot. So, for example, back in last year when we had that recall for a certain Republican mayor of Miami-Dade County, Mr. Norman Brayman did a petition drive, had to get it within 60 days. And once he got those petitions for the Miami-Dade County, they had an election within 2 months. They called the election within 2 months. But this change, I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but what this does is this extends the amount of time you can collect your petitions from 60 days until 120 days. So you have about 4 months to collect petitions to put an amendment on the ballot or recall a local official. But the election will have to occur at the next general election. So it will not recur within 2 months like it did before. So what will happen is there's pros and cons. You give more time to be able to collect petitions, but but the excitement and maybe the anger and the uproar may evaporate by the time the election happens. So you have to think about it, because when you read it, it sounds great. Oh, I have more time to collect petitions. So you have to weigh the pros and cons with that. The second amendment, very, very important, because how y'all kept saying that we need term limits. We need term limits for these county commissioners. They keep running for office and they never get out of office. Well, they put an amendment that has about three different things included in this one amendment. It will place term limits on every county commissioner. We have 13 county commissioners. Most of them are, of course, Republican. 13 county commissioners, they have term limits of 2 4-year terms. So after 2012, they would get a maximum of 8 years consecutive in office if they are reelected after the first 4 years. So they have term limits. But then they are required not to have any other outside employment. So they will have a full-time job being your county commissioner. But they will also receive an annual salary of $92,000 a year per county commissioner. So they get the pay raise, they have no outside employment, and they have term limits included in one amendment. So you have to vote for all of it or vote for none of it. Yes or no. And so these are very, very important amendments, and that's why every election matters, because whatever happens in this election, which is going to be a very, very low turnout, probably of other voters other than the Republicans, you're going to probably, it may pass. They may get their raise, they may get term limits, but you all have been reading the news, and folks are being laid off in the county, and so I always ask, well, where's this money going to come from? They got $6,000 now, now they're going to get $92,000, so you have to make sure every single election, and I know most folks here are registered voters, you know, and if you need to update your voter cards or get absentee ballot, that's why I remember to vote